I want to get back into my Black Women Deserve series, especially with everything that has gone on in this past month. And April is not over yet, and we're still hearing cases of Black women either dying during childbirth or Black women being having their life snuffed out by their intimate partner. Here are the sources that I use for this video. Now, I also want to stop here and give a massive trigger warning. This video will contain mentions of topics such as murder of adults and murder of children, sexual assault, and self-deletion. So if this video is going to trigger you in any way, shape, or form, please click off now and please take care of yourself. And not enough channels are talking about it, especially those channels who claim to be pro-black, but it's mostly just for black men, black straight men, honestly. So I want to go ahead and set the record straight that this channel is a safe place for black women, cis or trans, black members of the LGBTQ, and black men who are respectful. This channel is a safe place only for the individuals I have listed. So what we've been witnessing in the news with black women losing their lives is the textbook term of femicide. Now, femicide, according to this article that cites Radford and Russell, femicide is the killing of women by men based on the account of their gender. They've also noted that femicide impacts sexual orientation, societies, and class. Basically stating you can be a straight cis black woman, you could be a transgender black woman, you could be a lesbian black woman, and a man will still find a reason to end you solely because you identify as female. And this has recently skyrocketed. Rates of femicide has recently skyrocketed in the black community due to what's called the Black Manosphere. Now, I know I've talked about a little bit about the Inside the Manosphere documentary, but it did not touch anything near the Black Manosphere. Now, I'm going to go over it briefly. The Black Manosphere is basically just the Manosphere red pill content, but solely for black men. Which, spoiler alert, red pill content is not supposed to be for black men. It's supposed to be for white men because it also deals with a bunch of racism. But y'all, you black men don't care. You want to be the ones to be in control. You want to be the ones to hold the whip, so to speak. And this article goes deeper in how black femicide is basically the byproduct, well, the end product, I should say, of misogynoir, which is basically just sexism towards just black women. And black women, they are killed 4 times more often than non-black women. And black trans women is a lot higher, as in regards to the past 4 years. And I know I talked about these cases of these women losing their lives to their partners in my stream, but I just wanted to highlight these again, just to let you know that these women are real people that lost their lives in such tragic ways because of unhealed, unhinged men. The first woman I'll be talking about would be Dr. Serena Fairfax, who lost her life as of April 16th at the hands of her husband. And Serena had filed for divorce as of July 18th, 2025, and they were supposed to show up in court as of April 21st of this year to go through with the proceedings. Now, many men have defended Justin Fairfax's cause for becoming a sort of family annihilator because there were also young kids in the house as well during this whole egregious act. He ended his wife first and then turned the weapon on himself while the children were in the house. One of her children had to call 911 while trying to make sure his mother was still with him, but she wasn't. But as to why people, mostly black men, are defending Justin, they want to frame mental illness as the reason. Which mental illness does not excuse, it only explains. So it would explain why Justin will want to destroy lives of so many others. Now, People have been saying that Dr. Fairfax filed the divorce because of the SA claims against Justin, which makes a lot of sense because I would not want to be around someone who has such heavy allegations against them either, especially with young children. Like, if someone could do that to a grown adult, what could they do to a child, you know? That's just my logic. But because he felt the control slipping out of his grasp with Serena leaving him, he took matters into his own hands and in the worst way possible. Now, another tragedy that Black men seem to be reveling in would be the death of Ashley Janae, an influencer that does more the soft girl like influencer lifestyle, which is another can of worms that I'm definitely going to open up in another video. So Ashley Janae and her partner at the time, Joe McCann, went on a vacation in Zanzibar, Tanzania for her 31st birthday. And during that time, Joe McCann proposed to Ashley Janae, whose real name is Ashley Robinson. And then it was supposed to be a fairy tale happy ending type idea, but as of April 6th, there was a very heated argument that broke out between Ashley and McCann to the point where the hotel staff had to put them in two separate rooms out of just safety precaution. But on April 9th, she was found deceased, strung up by her robe. At first, the police force there claimed it as self-deletion, but her family knew her well to the point where she was not the type to have those type of ideations. And further investigation was brought in, and they held Joe McCann to be questioned as of April 16th, and he does not have access to his passport. He's basically stuck there until they figure out what he did to Ashley Janae. Now, this is just a theory of mine, but a lot of other Black women had this theory online, is that Joe McCann strange fruited Ashley Janae. And that's a theory that I'm sticking to as well, because if you look at the statistics, white men are the most violent out of every man, every demographic. It's always going to be a white man who is violent. It's always going to be a white man who's going to do great bodily harm on someone, whether it be mass, you know what, or family annihilations. It's 9 times out of 10 you hear the story. Hell, even serial killers, 9 times out of 10 it's a white man that is the perpetrator. So yes, this is why Black women of the internet have this theory that he strange fruited Ashley. But Black men decided to look up at her tweets, and after looking at more myself, yes, she did fetishize white people, but at the same time, that does not warrant her death. And also to compare and contrast with those of a person by the name of Telvin Osborne, whose life was also taken by his white partner. But comparing his tweets to hers, his were more vile. Like, my honest opinion, Ashley's tweets were out of criticism, especially with the whole Black men continue to embarrass us. Whereas Telvin's tweets talking about how he would sleep with a white dog before he would sleep with a Black woman. So take that with what you will. And you don't even have to be an influencer or a politician's wife to lose your life. You can even be a politician yourself. On April 1st, Nancy Mateer was found deceased in her home, and everyone just wanted to know why. With the Florida police, they worked quick and arrested and charged her husband with premeditated murder. Now, with Nancy, she was a Black Haitian American woman of the Coral Springs City Commission and elected in 2020, then re-elected in 2024 as vice mayor, and she had plans to eventually run for Congress. And she had much much promise for her in regards to responding to natural disasters and water crisis, especially with the damages caused from hurricanes Irma, Michael, and Dorian. She was very passionate about environmental science and even took environmental science classes just to better her knowledge on each topic. And she would have made a wonderful congresswoman had her husband not taken her spark away permanently. And that's just the thing with insecure men. They will take you to hell, or they'll just end you. They'll just end you. Like, they could end you slowly, or just they end you then and there. Because they're so upset at their own shortcomings that instead of trying to better themselves, they take it out on everybody else. And remember when I was talking about black transgender women being more susceptible to black femicide? Devonta Curtis, age 31, was found deceased in her apartment on April 5th. And her partner at the time, DeAndre Bell, was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and possession of a stolen vehicle. They even looked up at his web history and saw that he had Googled how to end someone with a hammer, and if a person gets hit in the head with a hammer while sleeping, what happens before the act of taking Curtis's life. And after a few days, Bell confessed to taking the life of Devonta Curtis and taking her money, phone, and car, while the medical examiner found that she had died due to multiple blunt force injuries. But the defense are saying, well, she was a sex worker, so it was bound to happen. Just because a woman, cis or trans, is a sex worker does not warrant their death. We wouldn't have to have a need for sex workers if women were paid an equal wage as men. It's the system of patriarchy to where they make women get paid less only to continue to victimize them in more ways than one, whether they victimize the sex workers or victimize the average 9 to 5 corporate working women who just want to make enough money to help their families. It's all just one big scheme set up by patriarchy to further disenfranchise women, especially black women. And with black femicide, sometimes it's not just the women who are harmed or even killed in these situations. Sometimes it's children who are harmed just because the man wants to harm the woman in any way, shape, or form, whether it be physical, emotional, or psychological, and sometimes that is through the child. A Louisiana man shot and killed 8 children, 7 of which being his own biological children, on Sunday, April the 19th, after a dispute with a woman that is assumed to be his intimate partner at the time. The ages of the children ranged from 3 to 11. And 2 women were shot because of this mass act of violence. One of them being the perpetrator's wife, who was shot in the face but thankfully survived, and the other one believed to be his partner. This just goes to show how patriarchy destroys everything. Like, 8 children are no longer able to go outside and play anymore. 8 children are no longer to go hug their moms. 8 children are no longer here because of act of a one disgruntled man. And 2 women have to live with the fact that their children are no longer with them. And yes, as we know, this is not a new occurrence. This is not a new occurrence whatsoever. As of 2020, 1,821 black women and girls were murdered. Now, to make it easier to acclimate as persons instead of numbers, that's 5 women and girls in one day. 5 women and girls per day. And at this rate, it's only increasing. It's only increasing at this rate because of the black manosphere, because of misogynoir, and overall just because of patriarchy. And as we saw with CNN, how they exposed the whole SA academy on Telegram of men who were drugging and assaulting their wives. This is what patriarchy has led. This is what patriarchy has made. A bunch of men who crave power in any way, shape, or form, and once they lose that sense of control, they harm so many people, most of them being women and children. It's a tale as old as history itself. So if we are going to stop Black femicide and stop femicide in general, the whole concept of patriarchy needs to be flipped on its head and then pushed out. Because with matriarchy, it centers children, so that cases like the mass shooting in Louisiana will never happen again. So that cases like Nancy Meteor will never happen again. So cases like Dr. Serena Fairfax will never happen again. So cases like Ashley Janae will never happen again. So cases like Devonta Curtis will never happen again. So yes, we're not going to have a whole turf in the comments. We're not going to have any misogynoir in the comments, because every Black woman and every Black child deserves protection. Full stop. Every Black woman and every Black child deserves protection. Every Black woman and every Black child deserves a safe space. Every Black woman and every Black child deserves peace. But the first part to stop with femicide, particularly Black femicide, is for Black men to hold each other accountable. And it can start as small as saying, hey, maybe you should ease up on these type of sexist ideologies. Maybe you should educate yourself. Just little things like that can start with the path to end Black femicide. But will we get there? I'm not too sure. Because as we know now, a lot of Black men like to subscribe to the Black manosphere and could easily turn a blind eye or even defend the perpetrator of a Black woman or Black child losing their life. So at this rate, too many Black men are so comfortable with holding the whip, they don't care if they could whip themselves by the white man, who is the number one aggressor. But I know that was a pretty heavy video today. I just felt like I needed to further expand on Black femicide, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I was crying during my live. I'm low-key proud of myself I didn't cry, and I hope you guys are okay, you know? I hope this video didn't deter you to the point where you're stuck in a ball, just in a fetal position in your bed, just scared. Because y'all, as Black women, whether cis or trans, you have options to defend yourself. It could be pepper spray, it could be a taser, it could even be a click boom. Like, getting yourself acclimated to that type of weaponry can save your life, honestly. Because in this day and age, as a Black woman, it's better to be judged by 12 than be carried by 6. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that all of y'all take a good mental health day after watching this video. I hope you take care of yourselves after this video, for real, because this is a very deep topic, very tragic topic that I wish we didn't have to witness every single day. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to wash your hands, stay hydrated. Please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I'll catch you guys next time I have a critical think piece. Take care now.